If you slice the golf ball, especially with driver, then this is going to be the perfect video for you. In this video, I'm going to show you a swing feel that we can work on to work away from slicing the golf ball, and a drill that you can implement into your practice that is going to make it virtually impossible to slice the ball. So with a little bit of work and focus, you will get rid of your slice entirely after learning about this swing feel and drill. So the slice is often caused by this motion here. As you can see, I'm really swinging across the golf ball. That was a very exaggerated motion here. So when the club path comes from out to in, that's when a lot of problems happen, and this is really caused by that flying elbow. I'm a right-handed golfer. Look at that right elbow just come away from the body. So the swing feel that we're really working to achieve, and the drills that we're going to do in order to implement it, are in relation to keeping that trail elbow stuck to your right side. It's almost like you want to glue it there. Now throughout this video, you're going to see me do a lot of swing rehearsals. What I will say about any type of swing change is that when you're working on it on the range, whatever feel you're trying to get, imitate that feel before every swing. So standing over the ball, just have one last rehearsal where you're trying to feel it out and then commit to your swing after that. So what we're going to start out with is working on focusing, keeping that right arm punched into your ribs. Really exaggerate this feel and start off with half swings. It's never a good idea to work on some type of swing change and then go right into the full swing, especially when the full swing with driver is pretty aggressive. So just feel out that shallowing motion. It's what we refer to as a shallowing motion, and then about hip height to hip height. We're focusing in this portion of the practice entirely on feel. As you can see, these balls that I'm hitting, they're not going very high. If anything, they have a little bit of a right to left hook, which is what we want. The result of how the ball is flying isn't super important here. It's just really reiterating that feel. Having that right elbow for right-handed golfer stuck into the ribs, and keep it through that half swing, and continue to do some reps with these half swings before we move on to the mid swing. Now let's move on to our next phase of swinging, which is about to the shoulder height. Again, we want to be working hip height, shoulder height, generally speaking, but if you go a little bit below or a little bit above it, that's fine. Just keep in mind what we're really focused on are good swing feels. So continuing to rehearse these swings, set up just the same as you normally would, tee the ball up the same area in your stance. Just really hyper focus on that right elbow into the hip line, especially through impact. As you can see here, it's almost like for these swings, I'm hitting a knockdown wedge shot. You're trying to flight it a little bit low. This is just another great way to slowly work your way up. Now, let's talk about a drill that we can implement. I'm taking something like a driver head cover. You can also use a golf glove, even a smaller towel, and pin it in that underarm. And as you can see, if that head cover stays in your armpit for the entirety of the swing, and you can even hold it after the finish, then there's no way that that right elbow is flying out. Now again, keep in mind that as you're doing drills like this and working on swing feels, you're not going to be hitting very pretty shots. A lot of them are going to be low, little hooking shots, but when you're working away from a big slice, seeing a hook, a pretty dramatic right to left ball flight for a right-handed golfer, that's actually a very positive thing. It means we're working in the right direction. So after you work through these golf swings, you can work on this on a fuller scale. So I'm still using the head cover drill just to really ensure that swing feeling. And with the full swing, as you can see, that head cover is going to fly out. There's really no way to really have a full golf swing and a full finish and keep it in there. So that's a totally fine thing for it to fly out. Just make sure that in the impact position that it's there, and then you can release it through. So once you graduate onto these full swings, make sure that your tempo is the same, that the way that you're addressing the ball and feeling it is the same. You're just really trying to exaggerate that shallowing move. Again, have some grace with yourself here. There are going to be bad shots. You're working on something entirely new. But if you can just imagine head cover under your arm, and you can go back to the swing feels that you had on those half swings, you're going to see a lot of great improvement. Now, it's going to take some time to work on it, to implement it, certainly some patience, but this is one of the most effective ways to get rid of a slice, as that over the top across the ball swing plane is something that really negatively affects people. So even when you get to this full swing, continue to work on those rehearsals, get more comfortable with the ball flight. I'll I'll tell you what, if you're pretty used to hitting a big slice and then you start hitting a baby draw, you're going to also have to work on your alignment points and all of that good stuff. But by and large, it is such a great improvement to make. Not only will you hit more consistent golf balls with this type of golf swing, but it's actually going to go a lot further. I know that when I stopped, hitting a pretty wipey fade and I hit that draw, with my drives, I picked up like 15 yards. It was a pretty big improvement. So make sure you're staying balanced, make sure you're committing to your motion throughout this practice session, and let me know how it goes. If you want to see more instructional content like this, feel free to subscribe to the page. Thank you all very much for watching. Play well, and take care.